Was Maximus Decimus Meridius truly a betrayed general turned vengeful gladiator? Or is Gladiator merely a Hollywood legend, draped in bronze armor and soaked in poetic blood? Behind the epic battles and soul-stirring speeches lies a story that is part truth, part fiction, and far more complicated than you've been led to believe. More than 2 decades after its release, Gladiator remains a towering cinematic triumph. But how closely does it mirror the harsh, chaotic reality of 2nd century Rome? Today we uncover the truth buried beneath the sand of the Colosseum and the gold of imperial palaces. This is Gladiators versus History. In the film, Maximus is a war hero. A noble general beloved by the legions, betrayed by an emperor, and cast into the brutal world of gladiatorial combat. But the truth? Maximus never existed. No Roman general of that name appears in any surviving ancient record. The name Maximus, meaning greatest in Latin, was chosen to evoke an ideal, the perfect Roman man, strong, stoic, loyal. According to military historian Adrian Goldsworthy, How Rome Fell 2009, there is no record of any general named Maximus who rose and fell in the way portrayed in the film, but his story captures the spirit of loyalty and betrayal common in imperial Rome. In that sense, Maximus is not a historical figure, but a mythic archetype. The film opens in the final days of Emperor Marcus Aurelius's reign, a real and revered figure in Roman history. Called the philosopher king, Marcus Aurelius ruled from 161 to 180 AD. He was a Stoic, a soldier, and the author of Meditations, a spiritual guide still read today. In Gladiator, Marcus wishes to restore the Roman Republic, but is murdered by his son Commodus. Historically, that's fiction. Cassius Dio, a Roman senator and contemporary historian, records that Marcus Aurelius died of natural causes in 180 AD, likely from plague, during a military campaign on the Danube frontier. There is no evidence that Commodus ever murdered his father, but his reign would soon plunge Rome into chaos. If Maximus is fictional, Commodus was all too real and deeply controversial. When Commodus took the throne, Rome's golden age began to crack. Dio described him as vain and petulant, delighting in dressing as Hercules and appearing in gladiatorial combats. Roman History, Book 73. This was no exaggeration. Commodus, styled as a living god, fought in hundreds of staged gladiator bouts. But they were carefully choreographed, his opponents forced to lose, ensuring the emperor was never truly in danger. Historian Mary Beard, in her acclaimed work SPQR 2015, wrote, "His repeated appearances as a gladiator scandalized Rome's elite, undermining the dignity of the imperial office. To Rome's aristocracy, it was grotesque. To the public, a thrilling spectacle. He charged the city of Rome 1 million sesterces for every appearance, flaunting power and wealth with gladiatorial flair. Senator Gracchus, the film's champion of Republican virtue, is pure invention, but his spirit reflects a deeper truth. Commodus's relationship with the Senate was antagonistic and laced with paranoia. Herodian, another ancient historian, describes a regime of purges and executions, especially among the aristocracy. The Senate's power was ceremonial, but its dignity was constantly tested. As Commodus styled himself Hercules Reborn, senators plotted in silence. It was one of them, his wrestling partner Narcissus, who would ultimately assassinate him in 192 AD, strangling the emperor in his bath. His death would ignite one of Rome's darkest hours. The Year of the Five Emperors, a brutal power struggle that exposed the empire's growing instability. Gladiator paints the arena as a constant bloodbath, every fight a death sentence. But the real gladiatorial world was more nuanced, and even strategic. According to historian Andrew Wallace Hadrill, Rome's Imperial Culture 2008, though deadly, most gladiatorial matches ended with the fate of the loser decided by the editor, with many spared due to their value as trained fighters. Gladiators were investments. They lived in schools, ludi, trained rigorously, and were expensive to replace. The Colosseum, opened in 80 AD, could seat over 50,000 spectators, all there to witness spectacle, not necessarily death. Special events like games commemorating a victory or imperial ascension might feature mass executions or animal hunts, venaciones. But typical matches followed strict rules and ceremonies. The crowd could demand death, but often showed mercy. The film only hints at it, but the Colosseum was an engineering marvel. Beneath its sand-covered floor lay the hypogeum, a network of tunnels, elevators, and trapdoors. Lions, tigers, and even elephants could be raised from underground chambers to shock the audience above. Historian Keith Hopkins called the Colosseum a monument to the Roman state's power where social order was reinforced through spectacle. This wasn't just entertainment, it was propaganda. Rome fed its people bread and spectacle, and the Colosseum was its theater of dominance. So what does Maximus represent? He is not a man of history, but of ideals. He embodies Roman virtues, bravery, honor, loyalty to duty. His quest for vengeance mirrors the ancient Stoic ideal of living and dying with dignity. His story is Shakespearean, operatic, but not Roman in the literal sense. As historian Thomas Asbridge puts it, Commodus's assassination in 192 AD sparked the Year of the Five Emperors, a chaotic civil war that exemplified Rome's political fragmentation. The empire Maximus died to protect was already beginning to rot from within. Commodus's desire to fight as a gladiator may have reflected a psychological break from traditional imperial norms, a craving for validation, for theatrical control, or even delusions of divinity. Some real-life gladiators became celebrities, attracting fan clubs, graffiti tributes, and wealthy lovers. The hypogeum beneath the Colosseum was only added after its opening, an evolving system that made spectacles more elaborate. Gladiator nails the mood of ancient Rome, its violence, grandeur, and spectacle, but simplifies the murky politics, the social hierarchy, and the slow decay of the empire. Maximus may never have walked the sands of the Colosseum, but his story echoes the values, fears, and fantasies of an empire nearing its breaking point. Gladiator is not history, it's legend, and sometimes legends carry truths that facts alone cannot express. If you enjoyed this deep dive into cinema and history, give us a like, subscribe, and comment below. What epic tale should we unravel next? Braveheart, Kingdom of Heaven, or Troy? You decide. We deliver the truth behind the myth.